guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading, we'll be doing the general reading for the month of December 2017. Hard to believe that we are entering the last month of the year. This year certainly seems to have gone by very quickly. Just a couple of announcements before we actually get into the reading. First of all, for today's reading, I will be doing a 10-card Celtic cross spread using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. I'll pull one additional card from the Soul's Journey Lesson Card deck by James van Praagh. If I need to clarify anything, I will probably use the Sibylla's, or I might use the Shadowscapes Tarot deck. But I will leave all of the information on the decks that I use in the reading in the description box below the video. These are, just to remind everybody, these are general readings for each of the astrological signs. So the messages may or may not resonate with you. The only way that you can really get, a personalized reading that really focuses on you and what's going on specifically in your life is by ordering a private reading. If you're interested in getting a private reading with me, all of the information can be found on my website. That is changingphasestarot.weebly.com. You can also email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com. And just to let you know, during the month of December, I will put out, in addition to this general reading, I'll put out the mid-monthly reading focusing on love and career and finance. And I will put out one additional video for the upcoming years. That will be a special 2018 preview focusing on the energy surrounding us for each of the months of 2018. And that will be for each of the astrological signs. So be looking out for that as well. And I'm wishing everybody a wonderful month. This is a month with lots of holidays. It's the holiday season, so I'm sending much love and light your way. Okay, give me 1 second and I will be right back with the shuffle. See you in a minute. Hi Libra, hope you're having a wonderful month. So I'm here today to do your general reading for the month of December. I have been shuffling, and I've already meditated on the cards off camera, but I will shuffle a few more times here just to finalize. So Spirit, what does Libra need to know? What are the messages for Libra in the month of December 2017? What does Libra need to know? What are the messages for Libra? December 2017. Okay. That feels right. Okay, so we have as our first card the Nine of Cups at the center of the reading. We move these decks out of the way. I'll be pulling a card from those in 1 second. Crossing the Nine of Cups, we have Major Arcana number 2, the High Priestess. At the foundation of the reading, we have card number 20 of the Major Arcana, Judgment. In the past position, we have the Four of Swords. Crowning your reading, we have the Eight of Swords. In the future position, it's a Swords energy, the Nine of Swords. You in the reading are Major Arcana number 5, the Hierophant. Surrounding you, you have the Two of Cups. Your hopes and fears, the Three of Cups. And the outbound energy for the month, the Eight of Pentacles. And the overall energy for the month is the Knight of Swords. Okay, let me just pull. Need one card from the Soul's Journey deck by James Van Praagh. The Spirit, what additional message does Libra, the air sign Libra, need to hear for the month of December 2017? Please show us one additional message, one card for Libra, December 2017. What does Libra need to hear? Please show us one additional message. And we have self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. Okay. And the last card from the Soulful Woman deck. Spirit, please show us one more message, one additional message for Libra for the month of December 2017. Okay, that one fell out. Card number 1, love-based reality. Okay, so give me 1 second, Libra. Let me just set up the cards here, and then if I need to clarify anything, I will, using the Shadowscapes deck. And then I'll be right back with the messages for the reading. I'll just position everything a little better. Give me 1 second. Okay, Libra. So, as you can see, it's kind of an explosion of cards everywhere. As I was laying out, rearranging everything, I was led to pull additional cards, and I was just going to do it on the Knight of Swords. But, as I did, it just kept kind of going on and going on and going on. So you'll see there are quite a few clarifiers. So I was led to clarify additional cards. I will go through all of the cards. And I'll just say that, the message is coming through very strongly for you. This message is card of self-esteem and you working on yourself. And, I'm really drawn to the 2 oracle messages here from the love-based reality and the self-esteem. I feel as though there is, that you're working on yourself. You're being called to work on yourself quite a bit during this month of November. And it seems to be, the month of December. This reading is for December, Libra. But, it seems as though you're being called to work on yourself, kind of cut through the all of the confusion and really focus your attention on you, right, and where you are going and who you are. And it seems as though there's quite a few repeated cards here. So cards that appeared in the reading came up as well in the clarifiers. So definitely strong messages attached to those cards. So we'll get to all of that. All right, beginning with the overall energy for the month of December is the Knight of Swords. And we know that when court cards appear in a reading, they can be people that we are interacting with. They can also be events and situations that we are dealing with during the time period. And they can also be the energy that we are taking on during the time period. So for example, you are, Libra is an air sign. This is air energy, right? So this could very well be you right here or another air sign individual that you're dealing with, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, right? And if this were, for example, a Knight of Wands, this could, even though you're not fire energy, this could just be you taking on the characteristics of that Knight of Wands during this time period. But with the Knight of Swords, if it's a person, this would typically be a middle-aged individual, usually 30s, 40s, air sign, so Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini. Not gender specific. And in these readings, we know that there's so many people watching that it's hard to attach a gender to a card. So it could be male or female here. And the suit of swords has to do with our thoughts. So this is cerebral energy, right? It's our thoughts. How our thoughts influence our actions, our daily lives. if we plant positive thoughts or positive seeds, we can expect, positive results out of that. And if we plant negative seeds, if we allow negative thoughts to, grow in our minds, then it's very difficult to expect a positive result out of that. So that's the suit of swords. The Knight of Swords, he is somebody who is, he comes in with his sword drawn, right? He's somebody who's, it has to do with communication. He's somebody who, he's ready for action, right? He's ready to kind of tackle whatever comes in for him, right? Whatever he is asked to tackle here. And also he's somebody who, he's not as quick moving as, say, the Knight of Wands, who is, the fire sign, kind of thought of as being the fastest moving of the knights. But this knight, it is swords energy, so his air is kind of, he does sort of come in quite forcefully, quite, it's kind of this really active, unyielding energy, right? And he's somebody who, even though there is nothing really in front of him, right? We don't see anybody really opposing him. He has his sword drawn, and he's ready to sort of confront whoever it is, or, to go to battle. So he's ready. He's ready and poised here. And what the cards that I pulled on this Knight of Swords, we have the Temperance card, which is Major Arcana, and has to do with divine timing. It also has to do with balance, right? We see here the different colors of mixing together, right, to form the yin yang. So it's that blending of elements to form that perfect harmonious balance. Followed by the Hierophant, which also came out as you, right? You appeared as the Hierophant in the reading. And the Hierophant is typically linked with sort of tradition, right? It has to do with those traditional things. When we think of the, as it's portrayed here on the other card, usually larger institutions, we think of the Hierophant as really being sort of, and it's represented on this card with roots. You see how his roots are very, they're deep, entwined roots, right? Kind of around these traditions and all these age-old traditions. So as somebody who really believes in rituals and ceremonies, somebody who pursues knowledge and deeper meaning in life, but is also somebody who many times can be, a teacher, maybe works in a school or a large institution like a university, and is somebody who can, as a teacher, can kind of help unravel the mysteries of life, right? But somebody who is at times quite rigid, right? Quite set in his or her ways. And then the last card of the clarifiers, we have the Magician, and this is another Major Arcana card here. And the Magician is really very powerful and is able to sort of harness all of the energies, right? All of the energies of the universe to achieve what he wants, right? So he trusts in the power of the universe, but he also trusts in himself here, knowing that, he has everything that he needs to really achieve what he wants, right? So he's able to sort of grasp everything in the that's unseen, right, sort of around him, and really harness it to become reality. So he's able to manifest. It's a card of manifestation, right? So, it seems as though there has been some waiting in the past, and I also get that with the Four of Swords over here in the past position. But during this period, you were able to, maybe find or figure out some type of truth about something that has brought you to, this position of where you are right now in the reading and where you're going, which is with this Magician card. You're ready to manifest. You're ready to go after those things and to really, achieve whatever it is that you have set out to achieve. But it is very tied in with this, this card here, the Tradition card, the Hierophant card. So that's the overall energy. Now, looking at the card at the center of our reading and the card that crosses it, we have the Nine of Cups crossed by number 2 of the major arcana, the High Priestess. So beginning with the Nine of Cups card, this is generally thought of as the wish card. It's kind of like the star card, but of the minor arcana. Cups energy, this is water energy. It has to do with our emotions, our feelings, things that, love, things that bring great emotional happiness and fulfillment to our lives, right? It also has to do with intuition, which is interesting because, it's crossed by this High Priestess card, which is a card of extreme or great intuition, right? Great intuitive foresight and insight. So, but going back to the Nine of Cups, it's a card of kind of achieving goals and really having your dreams come true. It's also important to remember that you see here she is keep moving everything around, sorry. You see she's blowing on the dandelion, right? She's making a wish. But you see how everything floats off out into the universe. So the card also reminds us that, whatever we put out into the universe, when we set our intentions, and some people do this, they have their moon rituals as far as, setting their intentions and then waiting for them to, to reap the benefits of whatever they have put out into the universe. It also reminds you that be careful what you wish for, right? Because once you do kind of set the wheels into motion here, right? And with this magician kind of setting things really, harnessing all this energy and setting things into motion, you may no longer be able to kind of, go back and say, oh, wait, I didn't really want that. No, it's about, be careful, right? If you wish for a new job, for example, then when that new job appears, you need to trust in the universe and go for it, right? Or whatever it may be that you've, put out there. If this is a new relationship, you've wished for that wonderful new relationship, or you've, whatever it is. It's just trusting in that, and that, your wishes will be granted. It's the wish card. Now with the High Priestess crossing this card, the High Priestess, like I said, she is, very intuitive. So she is all about the unconscious, intuition, the divine realms, finding that deeper meaning, right? Seeking out wisdom, seeking out knowledge. But she is, she's all about sort of psychic forces and unseen energies. And you've seen that here she is surrounded by butterflies, right? Representing or symbols of rebirth, eternal life. And we also have that with the Judgment card, which I will get to at the end, on the outbound. It was one of the clarifiers on the outbound card. It's all about rebirth, right? New things, new life, newness coming in. So I would say that, you, with these two cards at the center of the reading, and with, again, with these clarifiers over here, I'm getting the energy of the cards is that you're really tapping into your own intuition, right? Trusting in yourself. Or you could be, this could be a calling for you to tap into your intuition and trust in yourself. In achieving whatever these wishes are, because it's all about you here, right? I do feel that this reading is very sort of me focused, but not in a bad way, right? Not in a, an egotistical kind of, it's all about me, not like that. About, really tapping into what you possess as, your unique gifts, as your, who you are as a person, and tapping into that to really achieve, because you have everything in your hands to achieve what you want, to achieve this wish card, right? To whatever it is you're wishing for. Judgment. So I was saying we have the Judgment card over there. We have the Judgment card as well at the as the foundation of our reading. So the Judgment card it's a rebirth card. It's a card that speaks of a certain situation ending, right? Things ending, and then a rebirth after that. So it's, it's a time, or it's a card that kind of tells us to leave the past where it belongs, in the past, and whatever guilt and whatever grievances, whatever, whatever might be attached to that past and move on. So, whether this comes through a difficult decision, right? Some type of judgment call. There's a definite call to this fresh new start, right? To this new life. And just reminding us that, through death comes new life. So, you're listening, again, you're tuning in here. You're listening to this calling, to this newness, that's around you, right? It is surrounding you now. Again, with the Four of Swords in the past, it's kind of like what I had here with the Temperance card. I feel as though, you have been taking this time out. So in, the past, could be 4 weeks, 4 months, you've kind of been building up to this, but you've taken time out for yourself, right? This was time that you needed for yourself to heal, right? The Four of Swords is a card of healing. It's, again, swords energy, which is all about our thoughts, but it's more to do with kind of healing after a difficult, something difficult that we endured. It's, it's recuperating after that, sort of reflecting on things, withdrawing from the world, just really needing to rest and recharge both our bodies and our minds, right? Before we can move on in our journey. Okay, so sometimes it's necessary, right? We need to kind of take a step backwards to really, be able to see what is coming up ahead, right? So with this in the past, I feel as though you have done this, right? You did take this time out. You've recharged your batteries, right? You've really reflected on everything, and now you're kind of filled with this sense of, this sense of renewal and a new sense of vitality. Which brings us here to, sorry, so many cards. Let me move these over for 1 second. Okay, so we have as the crowning energy, the Eight of Swords. Now it's not usually a nice card, right? Just like the Nine of Swords, which comes after it, is not a particularly wonderful card, because they're cards that have to do with feeling restricted, feeling bound, feeling as though we are trapped in some way, right? But it's thoughts. This is air energy. The Eight of Swords, this is all about those thoughts that keep us at times entrapped, right? And you can see that the woman here on the card, she is blindfolded, and she's sort of tied up in this red tape, this red ribbon, and then she has the 8 swords surrounding her. But she could very easily move, and sort of wiggle out of the red tape or the red ribbon, and she could fit through the swords that surround her, and she could get out of that situation. So it's a card of feeling bound, of feeling restricted, right? But it's in our minds. It's not true, right? We're not really held captive, right? What's really holding us captive are our thoughts. And so, it's sort of you yourself imprisoning yourself, right, with whatever these thoughts are. And the 3 cards that came out on the Eight of Swords, there's the Five of Pentacles, which has to do with, typically it's a card that speaks of lack. There's a feeling of lack, like lacking in, and generally it has to do with something financial or material possessions, so this could have been, and again, I see this little butterfly, but it's interesting because here the butterfly is kind of encircled in this little bubble. So it's kind of like the new thing, the newness that we saw here with all of the butterflies flying around. It was there in the past, right? But it was encircled. It was kind of imprisoned here. So you weren't unable to begin with whatever you were trying to begin with here. That's interesting. And we have the Two of Swords as the second clarifier. And the Two of Swords has to do with, it's a stalemate card, right? Typically it's called the stalemate card because it's you feeling as though you are unable to make a decision, right? You see that the person, she has her arms crossed across her chest in a very defensive pose. And usually the person, like in the traditional deck, wears a blindfold, much like the Eight of Swords over here with a blindfold. not being able to see a way out, or, not being able to see to make the decision. But again, the person could easily just remove the blindfold and uncross, her arms here, and she could make that decision. So it's more of not wanting to face something, not wanting to see things for as they, for what they really are in order to make that decision. And then the card that came in on as the last card, the last clarifier, was the Ace of Swords, which is a card of clarity, right? It's a new offering. It's the universe kind of stepping in and sending this new beautiful message your way. So it's a clarity on a situation. And again, we see all these beautiful butterflies surrounding it, right? So there's something new coming in, right? There's this newness that's really waiting to kind of burst through here. So in order to get out of this kind of trapped mentality, I think that there's, the Eight of Swords is really asking you to kind of slice through everything, right? To cut through, to really to kind of clear whatever obstructions that might have been there that were preventing you from seeing things as they really are and being able to move forward, right? And the future card with the Nine of Swords, The Nine of Swords is typically referred to as the nightmare card because, again, it's our thoughts keeping us up at night, right? Our thoughts preventing us from sleeping at night. So these are things that we are very worried about, things that, that are worries that kind of hover around, us at nighttime, so we can't sleep, but it's inner turmoil, right? So it's sort of, again, it's all it's in our minds, right? And so we feel as though we are, you see here, the woman just kind of laid down here in the snow, feeling very trapped, feeling very helpless, right? Feeling as though she's unable to kind of just pick up the sword and move on. And she could very easily do that. She could very easily just, get up out of the snow, pick this up, move on ahead. But she's feeling trapped. But it's not, it's not real. It's in her mind, right? So she has what she needs to get out of it. It's in her mind. And the cards that I pulled as clarifiers on this card, we have the Page of Swords. So again, lots of swords energy, right? Lots of thoughts, lots of cerebral energy here. And the Page of Swords usually comes in to bring, hold it like that so you can see it. The Page of Swords comes in to bring news of something, right? We know that pages typically are bearers of news. And so this could be finding out something, or, since comes in the past position, it's somebody bringing in news of something, right? News of some truth, possibly, because we have the Ace of Swords over here as this truth, and then we have the Page of Swords bringing something in. In the middle position, there's the King of Wands, and the King of Wands could be a fire sign, older fire sign male, not necessarily. He's somebody who is he's very forceful, he's very strong, he's very dynamic. He really goes after, what he wants. He's able to sort of, he's a very passionate individual, really goes after things. So this could just be you, seeking out this truth. And then in the end, what you have as the outbound energy is the Queen of Swords. And she is somebody who, again, really knows how to, cut through the BS, cut through everything to find the truth. And again, there are the butterflies. You see the butterflies flying out from her. So once you achieve this, this new sense of, there's truth coming in and you're able to see things for what they really are, then the new cycle can begin. Then this newness can come into your life, right? This new phase, whatever this new chapter or new situation is. And the Queen of Swords, sometimes she's referred to as the divorced woman card. She's typically an older air sign. So you are an air sign Libra. This could, again, be you here. If not, it could be an older air sign female. It doesn't necessarily have to be. This could just be you taking on the qualities of the energies of the Queen of Swords. And she's somebody who's very honest, right? And she has great inner knowledge. She's really valued for her communication, for how she accurately sort of perceives the world. If she has to make a head or heart decision, she goes with her head. It's not that she's necessarily, a cold-hearted person. It's just she uses her intellect, right? She cuts through and sees things for what they are. Now, moving on to you here in the reading, you are the Hierophant. And like I was explaining over here, when the Hierophant appeared in the clarifiers, this is, this could be you belonging to some type of institution. This can be you, such as a church, or, even working for the government, or for like universities, school systems. It's generally larger institutions like that. And it's generally to do with, tradition. It's a very traditional card. So this could be, you as this, or feeling more, traditional, or wanting to do things in a more traditional way this month, or by the book, however you're handling or coming to this kind of new clarity, right? Whatever this newness is wanting to do things in a very sort of conformist, traditionalist type of way, right? He also has here, it's a little bit hard to see, but he does have on the card, he has there are keys, and the keys are crossed, which has to do with, unlocking higher truths, unlocking wisdom, seeking out that wisdom. Sometimes it has to do with, if we look at it from more of a religious perspective, since he is when we see all the different religious symbols around his head here, this could be a call, or, you needing to maybe find more, either, start attending a more traditional, like church, or that type of thing, or it could just have to do with the need for some type of ritual in your life. So maybe, you start meditating, right? In order to try to find or come to these inner truths here, you begin meditating, or you look for some type of spiritual group that you can join that can really sort of help you unlock these whatever these hidden truths are, or whatever it is that you're kind of looking for, right? Because it's can have to do with with connections, and making those connections kind of with the with like-minded individuals. So people who are also looking to expand their knowledge, to expand their spirituality. So many different things there. And the cards that I pulled on it, we have the Seven of Swords, which, again, in the past position, this is more cerebral energy, and this is a card of conflict, right? The Seven of Swords card definitely has to do with some type of conflict that you have faced in the past. And I did get that. I mean, I picked that up from the Four of Swords card over here. I feel as though you have been through something, something that has been quite challenging. Sometimes this is called the Thief card. So it's the person who tries to make away with, what is not his. And the traditional deck, it's the man sort of stealing away in the middle of the night with the sword. So this, it could literally be somebody having stolen something from you in the past, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. This could be, sometimes this card appears when you are having to be kind of sneaky about something, right? So for example, and that sounds bad, but say you're working at a particular company, and you're really not happy, you're looking to move on, to get into a new position. So you start applying for jobs while you're still at the one company. So you can't go around announcing to everybody, hey, by the way, I'm applying for new jobs. So you have to keep it under wraps. So it's that type of thing, acting a little sneakily about things. So not necessarily, stealing from others, but it's in the past position here. And then you have the two cards that came out as clarifiers actually came out one after the other over here, which is very interesting. So we have the Two of Cups card, and I'm drawn to I'm drawn to the heart that's hanging right here. You see in between the two. And then the heart that's right here on that card. And the Two of Cups is the soulmate card, right? It's the minor arcana version of the Lover's card. It's the soulmate card. And you can see that the two people, they're intertwined. So it's a very loving, a very balanced relationship, right? And then with the Three of Cups immediately following it, this is, it's celebration. It's a card of celebration. Sometimes this card appears when there's news of a pregnancy, news of a birth of a child, news of a wedding, engagement or a wedding. So some type of celebration, right? Getting together with other people, celebrating. So with those two cards coming out, one right after the other, just like in the reading, I definitely feel that the messages came through twice. So you were definitely meant to hear the messages that are tied to these two cards. So with the Two of Cups, it's about partnerships, connecting again. And this card I said could be connecting with like-minded people. So there is this connection, right? And bringing people together and bonding, and there's definitely relationship involved with that card. And then with the Three of Cups, it's just it could be friendship, meeting up with friends, coming together with like-minded individuals, right? Relying on those people, developing this new sense of community, which all would make sense with what I was saying about this Hierophant. And again, I do get this feeling of, it's you really trying to begin this new thing in your life, right? And it feels like it's more to do with you. It's you and needing to be this better version of yourself. So you could be seeking out other people here, right? And again, we have the same two cards here. So this is in your surrounding, the Two of Cups in your surrounding environment. And the Three of Cups is your hopes and fears. So I feel like all of these cards here are very linked, right? So I won't go over again because I just went through these two cards. And then the outbound energy. So we have the Eight of Pentacles as the outbound energy for the month, which is sometimes referred to as the Apprentice card. It's earth energy. So it has to do with, the material realm, our work, the things that we are able to achieve with the money that we earn, our homes. It also has to do with education as well. And it's working, really working hard on something, right? The Eight of Pentacles, it's working away, really becoming skilled at whatever it is. So if this is in the work environment, this is you taking more training classes to sort of get refreshed on whatever it is that you do, So if you're, for example, in IT, it might be doing a refresher course on something or additional training on something related to your job. It can also have to do with going back to school, right? Maybe in order for you to get a new job, or if that's what you're going after, you might need to go back to school and get get a certificate in something, or go back and get a degree in something else. Or, if you already have a bachelor's degree, think about going back and getting a master's, it's that type of energy. Or just you working very hard at what you do, right? At your job, at whatever creative project you might be working on. It's just working hard to really perfect, whatever it is you're doing. And the cards that I pulled on that card, in the past position, we have the Eight of Cups, which tells me that it's you kind of walking away from something that no longer served you emotionally, right? In search of, we see here that there's the light on her head guiding her as she takes this new chalice with her, right? So she's looking, or she's going after something that's going to bring more emotional fulfillment, more satisfaction into her life. So again, if this is, in the career realm, then this could be you in the past, you decided that you were no longer feeling very happy working where you're working. So you want to move on, to go after new opportunities. We have In the middle position, the Four of Swords, which is the exact same card you have over here. So again, telling me that you have been considering, you've been weighing everything up, you took time out, you really reflected on everything to allow these new things to bloom around you. And then we have the Judgment card coming out as the kind of as the outbound, or as the last card here, which is in the foundation of this reading. And the Judgment card, like I said when I was talking about this card, it's all about new things, right? So it's a call to something new, to new beginnings, a call to that. So, I think that you've been working hard on yourself and really trying to figure out, where you want to go from here. But new things are definitely on the horizon, right? I see that in so many of the cards in the reading here. So, it looks like a very good month for you, but it also looks like a month full of new things, but also you kind of stepping out of, maybe your comfort zone and really embarking on this new, whatever this renewal is, right? This new dawn, this new start, which isn't always easy, right? But it's, it's accepting these new things, however difficult the decision may be, and just trusting that, they are appearing in your life because they're meant to be on your path, and they're appearing to really, bring you to where you need to be, to this next phase, this next chapter in your life. Let me just go through the two cards that we have here as the oracle cards. Usually I just read the meanings for the oracle cards. So I'll begin with the Love-Based Reality card, which is card number 1 from the Soulful Woman deck. And it says, I am soul nurtured whenever I surround myself with friends and family who support a love-based reality rather than a fear-based reality. I choose to devote myself to a reality that connects me to beauty, strengthens love in my life, and inspires, empowers, and fills me with joy. Nurturing a love-based reality sustains me in my life and keeps me buoyant whenever I face fears or self-doubt. It strengthens my capacity to be present and to be of greater service to life on the planet. I bow in deep appreciation to all the people who have supported me to be my best and believed in me. As I grow in love and compassion, I naturally reflect the light of these energies to all those around me. Okay? And then the Self-Esteem card from the Soul's Journey deck. It says, it is easy to perceive others as being better than you. This is the trap of the ego. There is no one greater or lesser than you. There are only those who have learned how to reveal their gifts to a greater or lesser degree. Everyone is born with unique abilities of the soul, and just like snowflakes, no two are ever alike. You have a unique perspective to share with the world and have come back this time to put your stamp on it. Perhaps you may not be aware or even in tune with your incredible and gifted self. Here, the need to be in tune with the High Priestess at the middle. Why not try to make a list of 10 aspects of yourself or abilities you possess that you love and hold in high regard? It is not always easy to write about yourself, but sometimes you need to be reminded just how special you are. Remember that you did not come down to this schoolroom by accident. You have meaning and a reason for being. You are a treasure chest of incredible gifts and insights. Now is the time to celebrate you. So this is beautiful. We have the Hierophant here talking about, the classroom, that you're brought into this world, right? You're on this particular path, but there's a change here. So again, I don't think I can really add much to that. I think it's a beautiful reading for the month of December, and December is all about, ending one cycle as well. It's the end of one year as we get ready to embark on this new exciting chapter, which is this new year full of new things. So very interesting, very nice reading. I'm interested to do your yearly reading to see what 2018 has in store, but be looking out for that. I do hope that the messages have helped in some way, and I'm wishing you a wonderful month of December full of peace, love, and light. Bye.